Are you struggling with your single strategy because you're losing more matches that you think you should be? You actually should be winning more matches, having more fun, but you just can't find that winning strategy? Well, I've got something special to share with you. This is Jeff Salzenstein, founder of Tennis Evolution, and I'm here with James McGee, my good friend. I've known James for over 10 years, and we met when he was about 18 or 19 years old, and you can do the math on that. North of 30 now, right, James?
That's right, north of 30.
And James has been playing for pro tennis for a decade, and I've been following his career. We went to the U.S. Open together in 2014, helped him qualify for the first time at a Grand Slam. Really, really amazing experience for the two of us, and we've been friends, and he's helped me become a better coach, and I like to think I've helped him become a better player over the years. But we're going to talk about a unique experience that you had with Rafa Nadal, and we're going to tie it to a specific strategy that you could be using to win more matches. So let me set the stage here. James, you practiced with Rafa in Barcelona many years ago. You're on the practice court with him on the red clay, and there was one particular thing. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of things he did very well. There's one particular thing that he did so well to defend against you when you were serving. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I practiced with him back in 2012 or 2013, and I was so impressed with just how he started each point. We all know how heavy his forehand is and how he has this ability to get the ball up high on a lot of people, and why he causes so many people trouble with his heavy forehand. But for me, it was actually his backhand return, specifically. Well, it could be off first serves or second serves, but it was really off my first serve, how he was able to handle it. So one of the things that really surprised me was particularly on the advantage side. I remember we were playing a few sets together, and I would hit like a big serve down the tee, thinking that I had him in trouble, where he was kind of in this vulnerable position off a big first serve. But he had this ability to, when he was in this position, to put the ball up super high and make it land in the left side of the court, so that my first shot of every rally was a high backhand. The only way I could have dealt with it better was perhaps to take a drive volley, which I learned in hindsight. But just I've been watching a lot of him now this year and seeing how well he's doing, as we all have, and I'm amazed at how he has such a good ability to put the ball up high on the backhand side, whether it's a first serve or a second serve return. So that was really impressive when I played him.
So the whole idea is when you're returning serve, as James was talking about, if you can get the ball high to your opponent's backhand as early in the point as possible. Nadal is able to do it off of the return, which is amazing. Like, that is very difficult to find that little section of the court off of a first serve or a second serve. And so if you can't do that, that's okay. You can play high down the middle, play defense right away. But by the second or third ball, especially if you're playing on a slower court, you want to try to get that ball high to the backhand. It's one of the hardest shots in tennis to hit, is the high backhand, and you felt that against Nadal. Instead of starting with a forehand, you're dealing with a high backhand. And talk about some of those challenges that you have when you have to start with a high backhand a lot.
Right, because when you're hitting a high backhand from this part of the court, it's very hard to hit a hard shot back cross that can put him in trouble. So I always felt like my return off this shot was going to be quite weak, which inevitably gave him a position to control the point, because he's hitting his next shot 90% of the time is a forehand, which we know he's got one of the biggest forehands in the world. So the only way I could have dealt with it was by going down the line, which was really difficult off a high backhand, off a ball that's coming up and bouncing high on a clay court. Alternatively, looking back, I probably could have knifed it down the line, which at least it keeps it low, and it's hard for him to generate a lot of pace off that shot. But I think it's a great play for anyone when they are returning serve to focus on getting it up high to someone on their backhand, because so few people can actually hurt you from that position, And if your footwork's good and you're smart, you're going to look to be using a forehand on that next shot. So I think it was an invaluable lesson, and I think a lot of people will take a lot from it.
Yeah, that's great. So, what we're talking about here is strategy. A lot of players, they focus on technique, why their technique is breaking down, but we're focusing on a go-to pattern that you can use, especially if you're playing on slower courts, a slower hard court or slower clay court. But think about how you can integrate either your return of serve or the first or second ball after the return, where you're getting the ball up high to the backhand. Now, you've been here this long. You've listened to James give us a behind-the-scenes look of what it's like to practice with Rafa Nadal and a specific pattern that he used against James and he's still using today on the tour to absolutely wreak havoc. And the fact that you've been here shows that you're committed, and I appreciate you for that. But there's another step that I want you to take. You see, if you click the link in the description below or somewhere in this video, I'm going to reveal to you 3 myths that you're probably making as it relates to your single strategies. And so I want to help you with those. I want to help you stop making those mistakes and dispel those myths and give you the solution. So all you have to do is click the link below or in the description or somewhere in this video. Again, give us a thumbs up if you liked James today. He did a great job helping me out and describe, or a thumbs down. No, give us a thumbs up. Send your questions, your comments to James and I. We'd love to answer. Again, click the link in the description below, somewhere in this video. Let's get you those 3 myths that you could be making with your single strategy, and let's give you the solution to it. So thanks so much for your time today. Make sure you subscribe, turn the notifications on so you can get updated on all of our great lessons coming your way, and we'll see you at the next video.